Have you ever felt like your English sounds a bit stiff or robotic? Maybe you know the words. Maybe your grammar is solid. But when you speak, something feels off. Like it's not flowing naturally. You pause too much, search for words, or sound like you're reading a textbook aloud instead of actually talking. You're not alone. That robot speak problem is extremely common, even among learners who've studied for years. The truth is, speaking natural English has less to do with how many words you know and more to do with how you use them in real situations. Let's talk about something that can change the way you speak completely. Before we begin, if you've ever wanted to sound smooth and confident when speaking, just like you do in your own language, make sure to follow along. And stick around till the end. I'll show you how one small shift in your mindset can change the way people respond to your English. Now here's the core idea. If you want to speak naturally, stop building sentences like puzzles. You know what I mean? Translating in your head, choosing grammar, then slowly assembling a sentence. Native speakers don't build sentences that way. They react. They flow. They use word patterns they've heard 1,000 times. That's the key. Think of how you learned your native language. You didn't memorize grammar tables or take vocabulary quizzes. You heard phrases again and again until they became automatic. English should be the same. Let's break this down. Imagine you want to say, "I don't think it's a good idea," but you hesitate. You think, "I not think is good," and then your brain stalls. Why? Because you're translating each word separately instead of using a full phrase. But if the phrase, "I don't think it's a good idea," is something your brain has heard and said often, it just rolls out. So here's the method. Collect useful sentence chunks. Not single words, whole mini phrases you can use in daily conversation. Things like, "I'm not sure," "I guess so," "That sounds great," "Let me think," "I don't mind," "It depends." What do you mean? These are the tools native speakers use constantly. But here's the catch. You don't just read them. You say them out loud, many times, until your mouth knows them just as well as your brain does. Another trick, shadowing. Listen to native English, podcasts, movies, YouTube, and repeat what they say in real time. Don't worry about understanding every word at first. Focus on rhythm, tone, and sentence shape. You're training your mouth to move like a native speaker's does. Also, start noticing what expressions keep showing up. Every time someone says, "by the way," or "to be honest," or "actually, I think," write it down. Then say it 5 or 10 times until it sticks. These expressions become the glue that holds your speech together naturally. Still with me? Good. Here's what I want you to try. Today, listen to 5 minutes of English that feels real, maybe a casual interview or a scene from a show. Write down 5 phrases that sound useful. Then say them aloud again and again. Try using them in a voice message to a friend or just talking to yourself while walking around. Speaking naturally doesn't require more grammar. It needs more rhythm, more real-world practice, more listening and repeating, less hesitation, less mental translation. Let's review. We talked about how sounding natural in English isn't about knowing more vocabulary. It's about using real, common phrases that come out smoothly. You learned that sentence chunks are more powerful than individual words, and that shadowing and repetition are tools you can use every day. If you found this helpful, stick with us. We share useful tips like this all the time. And leave a comment. What phrase do you want to start using more naturally in your conversations? And remember, the goal is not perfect English. The goal is comfortable English. The kind that makes people want to keep talking with you.